one. Second from January, isn't it? super busy at the moment, and it's good that we've got stuff to focus on and to kind of look forward to, and to kind of have that going in the next couple of months.
I listened to half your interview with So Down, like So Down.
So Down, yes.
Yeah. It was great actually. I want to listen to it all. I was sitting out in the flipping boiler room, so the signals.
Had that go, and then
I'm gonna listen to it all back. Is it up on SoundCloud?
Yeah, I actually got ahead of myself and put it up there first thing. This time, I suppose, because I'll make the show and it'll be like the last thing I'll be at home and I'm like, fuck, gotta put it up.
Then the other thing is you're straight away doing more or less your thingy.
The quiz, yeah. But the good thing we had everything done we had it a whole hour before the quiz. A whole hour before this even started, which was great because we weren't kind of panicking.
Oh no.
Which I was really happy about because it means that we were like post pigeon lounge. No, just getting the lights turned off for the website.
Well, yeah, I was going to say to you about that, not the web page, about what you were saying. Oh yeah, it's good to be sort of. Sorry, I really left it out, but there's reasons.
No, it's okay. No, I think you're.
Oh no, I literally hear it at home.
Technically in a bubble.
Yeah, and I am not going to parties or seeing anyone else at all. Which is why I'm so down here a lot, less than normal in fairness. I was going to say, yeah, you know, I really, again, I've listened to half of your Drive Time show. Mark, it was brilliant.
Really, fun, it's back, like, you know.
So, you know, with the beds and stuff, is that something I can do, or is that going to be a pain in the arse for me? Is that part of what the laptop does, or is
that's what the Wii tablet does. So the best thing would be to get Ryan to show you, because he showed me literally the day before how it all works.
Yeah.
And then he came in, that's why he came in on Friday to make sure, I just wanted to make sure it worked and have him on site.
Yeah.
To make sure it would
no, cool. I'll ask him if he's not about it, it'll save him.
No, he should be about it. He'll help.
Because you know when I was asking, he was like, "Oh, there's a couple of us trying it at the moment," which is fair enough.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Well, when you perfect it."
Well, what he does, he does profiles, and what he'll do is put all the ads in, put all your ads, put all your beds, so pick a bed, pick like 2 or 3 beds, not loads, just pick 2. I have 2. Which I kind of bounce off, just sort of that there sort of thing. It's like in the back, but but like that's what's going on mine.
And the bed's going to be in it already because I know nothing about beds, so would they be pre-programmed into it?
Yeah,
so beds on it.
It's just music playing on the beds are just music. That's just background music. That's it. That's what about it. So we'll pick you out. We'll get you. You can have a look on Epidemic Sounds for pick 2 or 3 beds, 4 beds. I'll show you how. I'll get you using that at some point. It's I have access to it because I use it for my quiz. It's my kind of generic copyright free music library. So that's all this music is. All this. Yeah, I'm not gonna get sued for that because I'm registered to use it.
Yes, of course.
So the crack is with that. You got that, and then what you do is with pick those, you pick your ads, and then there's a couple of wee sweepers in there where the sweeper is kind of like, you're listening to Harbourside Radio.
Right, okay.
So if there's a bit of a gap in between your songs when you play on Spotify, you can just throw that in. And you know what, once you get that set up, you can use it for Guess Your Wife.
Yeah.
And it's actually really cool because it makes your show sounds a little bit more dynamic. It makes, even when you have the beds in, it makes it sound a little bit more interesting.
Because I'm quite conscious, not conscious, it doesn't bother me, but when I was thinking, I listened back to my show when I was putting the playlist up on the thing, and then having listened to your show before having Drive Time, it's really conspicuous with the absence of the beds.
Yeah, it makes it sound, how can I say, makes your show sound more dynamic.
Yes.
It makes it more interesting to listen to, and it keeps the energy up.
Yeah.
Because even sometimes it's like, you just played some fucking class song, and then suddenly it's just like, and that was, didn't it? But you want to kind of keep that kind of through.
Yeah.
And it keeps it going, and even with my music show and even with the Drive Time show, it just keeps that alive. Keeps the ball going, keeps the ball in the air. That's it, and it's good fun. Like, you know, I actually like messing about and playing all the different aspects of it as well. Like, you know, just gonna make sure. Just gonna do one more few thing here. Make sure this is going out. Actually, hopefully it's watching.
Ona's being Ona is up in his house with the girls, and they said they were going to play with this guy. Ona is like Europe for this one. Just look it.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see.
Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to another edition of the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. It's the first one of 2021. We've made it all this way. Past 2020, it's been amazing. Thanks for tuning in this evening. As always, I'm going to try to get you through the lockdown blues. I know we're deep into another one. Here in Northern Ireland, things are getting quite heavy. But yes, I'm here to entertain and keep the spirits up, keep the morale high, and keep you busy and entertained for the next hour at least. I know there's FA Cup games and all on, but yes, we'll keep you busy over the next hour. 8 rounds, as we always do. 6 questions each. Let's see how you play Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Yes, I know many seasoned viewers, they know how the crack is with this. But yes, this is Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Very, very simple. To get to the answer sheet, scan the QR code that you can see in front of you there with your phone. Open up the Google answer sheet. You'll see that there's an option to enter your team name. So you can do that as well. I'm doing this thing where I'm actually putting up a scoreboard at the end so you can see how well you've done. I want to see some bragging out there. Email address is also required to submit the form. All GDPR compliant, of course. 8 rounds, 6 questions each. There's only one correct answer per question. No trick questions. All you have to do is answer the questions as they're asked. You have an option of 4 answers per question in the multiple choice, unless otherwise stated. Once the quiz is over, all you have to do is press submit, and you'll get your scores, but stick about for the answers. I'll be posting the final standings at the very end and announcing who's won. It just remains me to say best of luck. And yes, Harbourside Radio is where the Big Nerd Pub Quiz is going out live on the social media, on the Facebook page, and on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz YouTube channel and Facebook page as well, every Sunday at 8 o'clock. If you want a shout out, I want a hello at any point in the night, give us a follow, like, and share on all the different social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And you can share the channel Big Nerd Pub Quiz on youtube.com with your buddies. Loads of different quizzes you can play. All the different quizzes that we've been doing over the summer, all through last year. I can't believe it's nearly going to be a year since I started doing this in a couple of weeks. But yes, we've been doing well over 100 quizzes for you to get your teeth into, including some kids quizzes. We got Disney, we got Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Star Trek, 90s, noughties, music, horror, you name it, we've done it. And check out some of these fantastic shows that we have on Harbourside Radio. Everything from dance music, rock music, blues, folk, 80s, country, indie, alt. We've got them all. Check them out, harboursideradio.com, and tons of quizzes and competitions there as well. Don't forget, you can hire Big Nerd Pub Quiz for your socially distanced event. If your birthday's not going to happen this year, if that office party, that event, team building event, by all means, get in touch with me, bignerdpubquiz@gmail.com. And yeah, don't forget that Big Nerd Pub Quiz is completely free to play. However, you can support the work that goes into making it by donating as little as £1 to the PayPal or Patreon. The links are there on the screen at the moment. Thank you to all the supporters that have been keeping me buoyant over the last couple of months. I really, really do appreciate it. Much, much love to you guys. Loving all the feedback. And like I said, big shout out to the guys at UCL as well. University College London have hired me to keep their students who are in lockdown entertained for a wee while as well. It's been really, really great fun doing the quizzes for you guys too. So like I said, you can hire me via my YouTube channel as well, and via the Patreon and PayPal. But so anyway, we're back. We've ditched the nice fireside of the Christmas glow and replaced it back with me just flying about Warren Point again. But yes, in case you're wondering, we're broadcasting live from Harbourside Radio in Warren Point, so I kind of figured it'd be very, very fitting for us to do that. Anyway, let's go. Let's kick things off today with the first quiz of 2021 coming to you live on YouTube. Let's do it. It's all general knowledge. Let's start off by playing first quiz of 2021. Yeah, massive thanks to everyone who played the 2020 quiz. That was absolutely hilarious. Great to see some old players and old faces get in touch with me that evening. But anyway, let's kick things off. Round one, question number one this evening. And very appropriate, as of course we're in Question 1. What is the Scots term for the last day of the year and was celebrated last Thursday night? Not this Thursday, but the Thursday before. So it's round one, question one. Obviously, they didn't celebrate it in this quite way because of social distancing, etc. But round one, question one. What is the Scots term for the last day of the year? And it's a kind of year that's kind of term you use to kind of celebrate the whole thing. So it's round one, question one. Nice, easy one, I think, to get you kicked off. Round one, question number two. Which rock star sold half his song rights to investment firm Hypnosis for $150 million this week? So yes, there was another very, very famous, well-known artist that sold back catalogue there recently, but another one has followed suit. It's not to be outdone and undermined, and sold half of his rights to an investment firm Hypnosis for $150 million. Now, it's only half of them, so that means he still gets the other half, whilst they get the other bit. That's round one, question number two. Which rock star sold half his song rights to investment firm Hypnosis this week? Moving on, round one, question three. An event which hopefully might happen this year, but Super Bowl LV is set to take place in Florida this year. But what does LV denote in Roman numerals? That's round one, question three. So round one, question three, Super Bowl LV. There's been quite a few of them, and they number them, but they give them kind of grandiose Roman numeral titles like the Rocky movies and the Star Wars films. But round one, question three, Super Bowl LV is set to take place in Tampa Bay in Florida this year. But what does LV denote in Roman numerals? Round one, question four. It's been a very, very long... They say a week is a long time in politics. And this has been a very, very long week in American politics, I have to say. But round one, question four. Who became the first African-American senator for Georgia this week, defeating his Republican rival in the state runoffs? Both Democrats won the state, therefore taking control of the Senate, which is going to make Joe Biden's tenure as presidency that little bit easier. But round one, question four. Who became the first African-American senator for Georgia this week, defeating his Republican rival in the state runoffs? That's in their top right-hand corner. Moving on, round one, question five. Which activist was spared deportation this week from the UK to the US? It's round one, question number five. Which very well-known activist who was arrested in Britain and could have been deported to the United States But which well-known activist was spared deportation this week from the UK to the US? Very high-profile activist. I know this feels like ages ago as well. And your final question tonight, round 1, question 6, took place last week. But Tanya Roberts, former Charlie's Angel and Bond actress, appeared as Midge in which 1990s US sitcom? Yes, the former Bond actress and Charlie's Angel sadly passed away last Sunday, and there was a bit of confusion of whether or not she actually had passed away. It was reported in one incident that she was still alive, and then again that she wasn't. So very, very, very tragic and very, very heartbreaking for the families that kind of got to go through that roller coaster. But round 1, question 6, Tanya Roberts, former Charlie's Angel and Bond actress, appeared as Midge in which 1990s US sitcom? And there's your roundup there of general knowledge questions, first ones of 2021 this year. So what is the Scots term for the last day of the year, which was celebrated last Thursday night? 2, which rock star sold half his song rights to investment firm Hypnosis for $150 million this week? 3, Super Bowl LV. What number does LV denote in Roman numerals? 4, who became the first African American senator for the state of Georgia this week? 5, which activist was spared deportation back to the US from the UK? And 6, in which 1990s US sitcom? Okay, that's 1 done, 7 to go tonight. Thank you very much for joining me on Big Nerd Pub Quiz, first one of 2021. If you want to shout out at any point tonight, do get in touch with me via all the different social media channels that you see here to the left. Yes, the best way to do it, I think, is via Instagram or Facebook, because they all come to the one place. They've actually improved that service there. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me again. Let's move on to the next round tonight. And it's all about, I thought I'd do a themed one, and it's a music round. And we're looking at, this one's all about boy bands. So yes, this is going to test your knowledge of boy bands, mostly from the 90s, but yeah, because that was kind of the golden age of boy bands. But yes, let's have a look. 6 questions, all about boy bands. Let's see how you get on. Round 2, question number 1. So which Irish boy band was founded by Louis Walsh in 1993 and made their infamous debut on The Late Late Show by just dancing? So yeah, they'd formed the band, 4 or 5 good looking lads, threw them in some trendy gear, pushed them out in front of Gayburn, and they just danced to a backing track. Did they sing? Not yet, not at that point. But round 2, question number 1, which Irish boy band was founded by Louis Walsh in 1993 and made their infamous debut on The Late Late by just dancing? When I say infamous, I think that's probably why. It's not that they didn't do anything wrong. Like, here we go, round 2, question 2. Who is the oldest member of One Direction? Because to show you how old I am, One Direction aren't even relevant. They're not even together anymore. It's like a past thing. Round 2, question 2. Who is the oldest member of the original lineup of One Direction? It's round 2, question 2. Round 2, question 3. What was the first UK number 1 single for the Backstreet Boys? Again, I think the best way to kind of approach this would be to kind of just think about the most famous songs. I think the most famous song of them all, maybe, that's how I would approach it. Round 2, question 3. First UK number 1 single for the Backstreet Boys was what? Round 2, question 4. BTS, the Korean K-pop band, biggest boy band in the world right now. But what does BTS translate to from Korean to English? This was a TIL moment for me when I learned this, because I genuinely thought it meant something else, but it actually means something completely different. What does BTS translate to from Korean to English? Round 2, question 5. Bit of an older one this, but brothers Matt and Luke Goss made up which 1980s UK boy band? Part of a three-piece, but they were kind of the main guys. So round 2, question 5. Brothers Matt and Luke Goss made up which 1980s UK boy band? Absolutely massive at one point. And there was a really, really interesting documentary about them on BBC iPlayer. It was actually really one of those kind of ones totally worth watching if you didn't even know who they were. But round 2, question 5. Matt and Luke Goss made up which UK boy band? And finally, who was the first member of Westlife to leave the group to follow a solo career? Yes, both bands, both managed by Louis Walsh, both kind of cut from the same cloth if you think about it. But who was the first member of Westlife to leave the group to follow a solo career? I don't know much about Westlife, but I don't really think this guy's solo career went that far, did it? I don't think it did. Anyways, less said about that, the better. Anyway, there's your roundup there. So, bookended by Irish boy bands there, but which Irish boy band was founded by Louis Walsh in 93 and made an infamous debut on the Late Late by Just Dancing? 2, who was the oldest member of One Direction? 3, what was the first UK number 1 single for the Backstreet Boys? 4, what does BTS translate to from Korean to English? 5, brothers Matt and Luke Goss made up which 1980s UK boy band? And 6, who was the first member of Westlife to leave the group to follow a solo career? I'll give you a couple of seconds to work those out before we move on to the next round. Yep, so we've done music, and I think we've definitely done, if you look back at some of the music quizzes that we've done, I think we did a whole round about boy bands, and it was, I guess, the missing boy band member. So it was like show you like the whole band with one of them pixelated out, and you had to figure out who it was. But yes, you can find all those amazing quizzes that I've done on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/BigNerdPubQuiz for all those other quizzes to get you through the dark days of lockdown number 2. They're all still up there. All the question sheets are still active. So if you want to get your teeth stuck into those, by all means, do let me know. Anyway, moving on to the next round this evening, and it's all about movies, and it's Last Pictures. So yes, it's the next 6 questions. I'm going to show you the titles of 6 different movies. All I want you to do is figure out who directed them. The one commonality between all these films is that this is the last work these famous directors actually directed before they passed away. So yes, 6 deceased directors. Figure out what or who directed title of these next 6 movies. Here we go. So round 3, question number 1. I think a fairly easy one to start off with, starring Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. It was Eyes Wide Shut. I'm looking for the director of this film. 1998, released posthumously after the passing of this director, but this is considered to be his final work. Round 3, question number 1. Eyes Wide Shut. That's your first one. Moving on, round 3, question number 2. Once Upon a Time in America, starring James Woods and Robert De Niro. This gangster epic was directed by which famous Hollywood director? It's round 3, question 2. Once Upon a Time in America, famous for spaghetti westerns as well. Moving on to round 3, question 3. The Life of David Gale. This is quite a tricky one, so I'll give you a few clues for it. We're talking here about the director behind movies such as Bugsy Malone, The Commitments, passed away last year. Round 3, question 3. The Life of David Gale. His final movie, directed in 2003. It's a bit of a gap there, but yes, round 3, question 3. Life of David Gale. So Mississippi Burning, commitments, Bugsy Malone. And this was his final work, The Life of Dale Gale. Who am I talking about? Round 3, question 4. Family Plot. Released in 1976. Was the final film from this legendary master of the cinema screen. Who am I talking about here? Round 3, question 4. It's the final movie. Family Plot. Round 3, question 4. Family Plot, final movie. From which famous director? Round 3. Whoop, let's skip one. Round 3, question 5. A Passage to India. This director was known for very grand scale epic films in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Very, very long. 2.5, 3 hour long movies. Round 3, question 5. Passage to India, 1983, I believe it was. Last final movie by which famous epic director? Round 3, question 5. And finally, round 3, question 6. Survival of the Dead. Survival of the Dead. Now, you can see there it's a zombie movie. That's probably your biggest clue when it comes to this. Who would be the number 1 zombie movie director? It's round 3, question number 6. Survival of the Dead. Who am I talking about when I'm talking about this movie? There's your roundup there of final films, the last picture show. The big finale, the final curtain for these famous directors. Link the movies with the director. Eyes Wide Shut, Once Upon a Time in America, The Life of David Gale, Family Plot, A Passage to India, and Survival of the Dead. 6 directors, 6 movies. Sounds simple enough, right? Alright, so we're coming up to nearly about the halfway point tonight's quiz. Round 4 will be, as always, a history round. So, history and politics round. But yes, it's one of my kind of favorite, it's a put these things in order type of round. Yes, I'm going to give you 6 events that happened in the 1990s. All I want you to do is place them in order, starting with the earliest and working to the latest. So yes, the 1990s. It's amazing. I think the 1990s, to me, still happened like 10 years ago. Nope. If you were born in 1990, well, congratulations, you're going to turn 30 this year. So anyway, I'm going to show you the 6 seminal events which took place in the 1990s. Like I said, just put them in the right order. So here we go. Here are those 6 events. So yes, the O.J. Simpson verdict, the Good Friday Agreement, Operation Desert Storm, the reunification of Germany, Tony Blair becomes the Prime Minister, and Wannabe by the Spice Girls is released. So yes, if you think the O.J. Simpson verdict out of these 6 came first, put it at number 1. If you think the Good Friday Agreement was at number 2, put it at number 2, and so on and so forth. So yes, work your way up the list until you get there. So round 4. So yes, so like I said, if you think that Germany reunification was the first thing to happen, or Desert Storm was the first thing to happen, or Good Friday, you put it at number 1. If you think Tony Blair was number 2, put it at number 2. Work your way down the list. I think I put this first one in here, O.J. Simpson verdict, because it was the first big news event I remember as a kid, and I remember watching the actual verdict being read. I was eating my dinner, and yes, I looked years later. Looked back what time it did happen. Yeah, I was watching it live. We watched it live on BBC TV. I was at home. I was eating. I was eating chips with lots of lots of tomato ketchup and vinegar. And then I remember my mum thinking that he was totally gonna go down, but he didn't. Johnny Cochran there, his attorney. The glove doesn't fit. You must acquit. Good Friday Agreement. I think speaks for itself. Really, the official kind of end to the Troubles. Nobel Prize winners for peace, John Hume and David Trimble, with some guy in the middle holding their hands up. I forget who that is. Momentous occasion. Operation Desert Storm. Now, yes, the actual conflict actually started a little bit earlier, but actual Desert Storm took place in a particular year. So although the conflict had started a little bit a year earlier, or a couple of months earlier in the earlier year, Operation Desert Storm, which was the US invasion of Kuwait to drive out Iraqi forces, took place in this particular year. I'll let you know what it is at the end. The reunification of Germany. After 40 years of split following World War II, East Germany and West Germany united. East Germany being known as the Democratic German Republic, wasn't pretty democratic at all, and the FDR, which is West Germany, which is the Bundesrepublik of Germany, the Federal Republic of Germany, became reunited in this year after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Tony Blair becomes the Prime Minister, first Labour Prime Minister in the UK for 17 years. Theme, Things Can Only Get Better by Dream. A landslide victory with very famous moments, including Defence Secretary Michael Portillo losing his seat. Probably one of the most consequential prime ministers of the 20th and early 21st centuries. And finally, Wannabe by the Spice Girls, one of the biggest pop bands of the 90s, defined an era in girl power. The actual video for that was shot in the St Pancras Hotel, just above the train station in London. I'll leave those up again. So O.J. Simpson, the Good Friday Agreement, Operation Desert Storm, Germany reunifies, Tony Blair becomes the Prime Minister, and Wannabe by the Spice Girls. Place those events in order in which they took place, starting with the earliest and working your way down. So there we go. I'll leave that up for a couple of minutes, let you kind of ponder over that, and then before we move on. Don't forget, if you do want a shout out, by all means, let me know. I'll have a look through the old... I just got a message from Amy here. People are kind of freaking out that they can't get the answer sheet. Oh dear. Oh god, guys, I'm really sorry. I thought the answer sheet link was there. If you were watching the start of the quiz, maybe you would have had it. It was. I'll put it back up again. I know it's a bit late, but that is the QR code access. I did put it at the start. I think if you were playing it from the beginning, maybe that would have worked. I do apologize. I did think that was working. I didn't realize that was the case. I know that for a fact. I know this for a fact does work, the QR code. So if you do access the QR code, I know it's a bit of a long shot, but and if people are late to it, I know, go back to the QR code. I think that's the key. Anyways, yeah, and it's good to know people are playing it anyway. And you know what? If you can't play along, it's not as if it's going for there's any mad prizes or anything going this week. But anyway, thank you for everyone who has tuned in. I do apologise about the malfunction of the sheet. But yes, do try it out. There is try out the QR code. The QR code definitely works. Okay. Moving on to our next round. We're going to move on to sports. Sports. So yes, sporting anthems. We're talking about sporting anthems. I know sports isn't a round that is favoured by many people, but this particular one is all going to be about various songs and sporting themes which are associated to different sports teams. So yes, more kind of a music round than a sports round. So a lot of people will be very happy to hear about that. Anyway, let's move on. So we'll do the sports round next. Sporting anthems. Here we go. Round 5. Question number 1. You'll Never Walk Alone, as made famous by Liverpool and sung by Jerry and the Pacemakers, was originally featured in which Rodgers and Hammerstein musical? So round 5, question number 1. You'll Never Walk Alone is made famous by Liverpool and sung by Jerry and the Pacemakers, was originally featured in which Rodgers and Hammerstein musical? The actual song became famous and associated with Liverpool Football Club because it was in the charts, and they used to play all the big chart music that was playing at the time in the 60s, and this particular song from this particular musical was recorded by Liverpool's own Jerry and the Pacemakers. And it's kind of stuck. After it dropped out of the charts, the fans demanded it back. It became the anthem for the club and a few other teams. But which musical did Will You Never Walk Alone appear in? Round 5, question 2. This happens in every ball game in America, but at which inning of baseball is the song Take Me Out to the Ball Game traditionally sung? It's round 5, question 2. There's the New York Mets there. But yes, the stage in the game, at this particular point in the actual game itself, there is a pause in play and they sing a song. That's pretty much every ball game you go to. But at which inning of the baseball does the song Take Me Out to the Ball Game, is it traditionally sung in? It's round 5, question 2. Round 5, question 3. The bass line from which Fleetwood Mac song is prominently featured in the BBC and Channel 4 coverage of Formula 1 motor racing? You know what I'm talking about. If you even think of Formula 1, it's the first song you even think about. But the bass line from which Fleetwood Mac song is prominently featured in the BBC and Channel 4 coverage of Formula 1 motor racing? That's round 5, question 3. Round 5, question number. This is one for us, but a variation of Zadok the Priest by George Friedrich Handel is performed at the beginning of which iconic sporting event? So yes, this is a particularly famous sporting anthem. It's not really kind of linked to any particular club. In fact, no, it's a very universal anthem. And it's played at the start of some very, very famous sporting events which take place. It's an iconic piece of music. It's based off a classical piece of music by George Friedrich Handel. He performed The Messiah for the first time in Dublin. But this Zadok the Priest, originally composed for coronations, and actually was played at Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953. This is it's ironic because it's been kind of reworked and it's like a variation of this song, and it's actually in 4 different languages, as played at the beginning of these particular famous sporting events. But which one am I talking about? Which iconic sporting event or events am I talking about? Zadok the Priest, round 5, question 4. Round 5, question 5. Quim Redonda. Apologies if my Welsh isn't correct, but Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer. The Welsh rugby anthem is more commonly known by what title? Now, to clarify this, just to be very, very clear, I'm not asking for what is the Welsh rugby national anthem. No. I would be very, very clear about that. But this particular hymn, like I said, there's 2 things that the Welsh are very, very good at, and one's rugby, the other's singing. And if you go to a rugby match in the Millennium Stadium, you will hear both and see both happen in great excess. But round 5, question 5. Quim Redonda, or O Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer, is the Welsh rugby anthem. And it's more commonly known by what title? It's rather amazing. If you do go to the Millennium Stadium and see the Welsh rugby team play, it is something else, especially with the roof closed. It's one of my favourite stadiums in the whole of the UK, if not the world. I love it. I think it's so cool. And the fact that it's right in the middle of Wales, as soon as you'll be in the pub to your seat in like 5 seconds, as fast as your legs can carry you. So come down there, Guide Me, O Great Redeemer. It's a Welsh rugby anthem and is commonly known by what title? And final question here. The derisive. Now, this is, again, one of those today I learned type moments. But the derisive sporting anthem, Nana, Hey, Hey, Kiss Him Goodbye, was originally recorded in 1969 by which American or which pop rock band? Sorry, I didn't mean to say American there. I don't know why. But yes, round 5, question 6. I didn't realize this was a thing. So, okay, to explain what it is. You know that song goes, na 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 na, hey, goodbye. That was a pop song. I did not know that. And it's become a kind of anthem for telling anyone to you know, they're getting sent off or they've lost. I think, you know, it's probably going to get sung quite a lot when Donald Trump leaves the White House, I think. Yes. Anyways, round 5, question 6. The derisive sporting anthem, Nana, Hey, Hey, Kiss Him Goodbye, was released in 1969 by which pop rock band? And again, you can look this up. It's an actual tune. So there we go. Round 5, question 6. Let's have a look. You round up there. Round 5 questions. You'll Never Walk Alone, made famous by Liverpool and sung by Jerry and the Pacemakers, originally featured in which Rodgers and Hammerstein musical? 2. In which inning of baseball is the song Take Me Out to the Ball Game traditionally sung? 3. The bass line from which Fleetwood Mac song is prominently featured on the BBC and Channel 4 coverage of Formula 1 motor racing? 4. A variation of Zadok the Priest by George Frieda Handel is performed at the beginning of which iconic sporting events? And 5. Kimbara Dunda, or Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer, Welsh anthem, is sung commonly known as what title? And finally, Nana, Hey, Hey, Kiss Him Goodbye, originally recorded in 1969 by which band? Alright, so guys, if you haven't got the answer sheet, by all means you can pause this, go back, find the QR code, scan it, and you can also, you know, play the quiz at your own kind of rate. If you kind of want to go back and skip through the questions as I've read them out, if you've written them down, by all means, fair play, playing by pen and paper. I always appreciate that. It's pretty hardcore. But yes, by all means, give us a follow, like, share on all the different social media channels. I promise by next week that will be ironed out and make sure the right link goes up. I think the link I posted was the link to my edited version, which you don't have access to. Anyway, that's what happens. Anyway, moving on. Next round tonight, this or that. You'll see there's 2 answers to this, 2 possible answers to these questions. It's very, very simple. Some of these require logic, some of these require just knowledge of the thing. But here we go. Round 6, question 1. Very, very simple. All you have to do is figure out, is it this one or that one? So to give you an idea, round 6, first one straight off, TV one here, but which American TV series had more episodes? Was it Cheers or Frasier? Is the common link there. Dr. Fraser Crane, the psychiatrist and regular at the Cheers bar in Boston. Of course, he flew out to Seattle for his own spin-off show, which lasted, I think, just as long. But which American TV series had the most episodes? Was it Cheers or was it Frasier? Considered possibly one of the most successful spin-offs of all time, if you think about it. It's round 6, question 1. Which show had more episodes, Cheers or Frasier? Round 6, question 2. Who's won more Olympic gold medals for Team GB? Is it Sir Steve Redgrave or Sir Chris Hoy? That's round 6, question 2. Both Olympians, both respected and highly accomplished in both their fields of rowing and cycling. Sit-down sports, as they say. No, very, very tough. Very well earned as well. But Team GB, they're both record holders for Team GB. But who's won more gold medals? Sir Steve Redgrave or Sir Chris Hoy? It's round 6, question 2. Round 6, question 3. And when I tell you this is just by a matter of months, you'll be surprised. But which company is older? Is it Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak's Apple or Bill Gates' Microsoft? Which company is actually older? It's round 6, question 3. Which company is older? Apple or Microsoft? And I reveal the kind of differences between them at the end as well, so make sure you're not in the dark. Round 6, question 3. Which company is older, Apple or Microsoft? Round 6, question 4. Might be a little bit easy, this one, but which film series has the most movies, James Bond or Star Trek? Yes, both franchises have been known to pump out loads and loads of movies and sequels. To the point you're not even counting them anymore. But round 6, question 4. Which film series has the most movies? Is it Bond or Trek? In case you're wondering, on the left there is from Deep Space Nine. Not a Star Trek movie, but a Star Trek TV show. Alexander Siddig is Julian Bashir, and he's LARPing about in the holodeck as a 60s secret agent spy. Direct riff on James Bond. Which had more movies, Bond or Trek? Round 6, question 5. Which celestial body has more moons, Mercury or Pluto? Now, I know I put celestial body, not planet, because... well, it's not that there is a debate on whether Pluto is a planet or not. It's considered to be like a extrasolar object, but that's why I wanted to be pedantic here. I wanted to use proper nomenclature with this one. So, which celestial body has more moons, Mercury or Pluto? Kind of the bookends of the solar system, if you think about it. And finally, which university has won the boat race the most times, Oxford or Cambridge? It's round 6, question 6. Again, not much in it. There is a clear winner in terms of who's won it. Round 6, question 6. Which university has won the boat race the most times, Oxford or Cambridge? And there's your roundup. So I'm looking for which has the most TV series, has had more episodes, Cheers or Frasier? 2, who has the most gold medals, Steve Redgrave or Chris Hoy? 3, which company's older, Apple or Microsoft? 4, which film series has the most movies, Bond or Trek? 5, which celestial body has more moons, Mercury or Pluto? And 6, which university has won the boat race the most times, Oxford or Cambridge? Give you a couple of minutes to figure those out before we move on to the penultimate round. Okay, so we got 2 more rounds to go. Next round. Now, I thought I had fun making this one, and I hope you guys have fun playing it as well. It's a bit of a left field, this one. Like I said, I actually did this quiz with the guys at UCL during the week. So actually, this quiz went out originally on Wednesday to the private audience. So I thought I'd keep the questions, recycle them for you guys this weekend. So here it is. Round 7. All about memes. Yes, those kind of colorful little jokes that you find on the internet. Memes, not memes or memes. Memes. The 21st century equivalent of a knock-knock joke. They're everywhere. You can't escape them. If you're on the internet, that's what they're all about. That's basically what 90% of the internet is these days. But yes, all questions all about memes. Let's see how you get on. Round 7, question number 1. Which well-known scientist coined the term meme in 1976, deriving from the Greek for imitated thing? There's a very interesting story behind it, but yes, a very well-known scientist actually came up with the term and used it in a term relating to biology. But round 7, question 1. Which well-known scientist coined the term meme in 1976, deriving for the Greek for imitated theme or imitated thing? Round 7, question 2. Edward Kill became internet famous in 2010 for singing which song? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll definitely would have heard it at some point. It's a very interesting tune. But yes, round 7, question 2. Already was famous in his own country at one point before finding out that he'd become internet famous. I actually quite liked the fame that he was getting from that. But round 7, question 2. Edward Kill became internet famous in 2010 for singing what song? I need the title of the song. Round 7, question 3. What collection of books is, oh my god, subject Maggie Goldenberger holding up in her widespread meme? This is an early one, this. Again, you can find the kind of etymologies of these in this brilliant website called knowyourmeme.com. If you're ever wondering, like, where the heck did that come from? You can look it up. And right enough, it shows you the Google frequency of it, when it started appearing online in searches, the background, the history, everything, the source material, you name it. It gives you everything. It's a very fascinating website. Keeps you kind of abreast of what's kind of going on with the meme culture as well. But round 7, question 3. What collection of books is, oh my god, subject Maggie Goldenberger holding up in her widespread meme? And it's really interesting. She's just doing it for the crack. She wasn't being serious at all. Round 7, question 4. Which US television program does the meme woman yelling at cat come from? It's a pretty recent one, this. But if you go to knowyourmeme.com, this actually came out in 2011. It's been festering for a while, this one. It's been bubbling under the surface. It's actually recently become kind of like woman yelling at cat, bemused cat looking back. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant juxtaposition. Quite like it. Round 7, question 4. Which US television program does the meme woman yelling at cat come from? Round 7, question 5. What's the name of Sean Bean's Lord of the Rings character as featured in One Does Not Simply meme? Yes, you can see the versatility there in that fantastic meme. The kind that one does simply not just do anything, including walk to Mordor. But I'm looking for the name of Sean Bean's character from that particular meme. So round 7, question 5. And finally, round 7, question 6. You might recognize this one too. The most interesting man in the world was advertising which brand of alcoholic beverage? Yes, this is one of these examples of a meme that starts off like really interesting about, guy, he's kind of bragging about how he's done loads of really cool things. Like, I don't always drink such and such, or I don't always do such and such, but when I do this. And it kind of backfired in a way. It kind of became like an anti-meme, kind of alternative versions of it started coming out. But round 7, question 6. The most interesting man in the world was advertising for which brand of alcoholic beverage? There's a roundup of memes there. So yes, which well-known scientist coined the term meme in 1976, deriving from the Greek for imitated thing? 2. Edward Kill became famous in 2010 for singing which song? 3. Which collection of books is, oh my god, subject to Maggie Goldenberger holding up in her widespread meme? 4. Which US TV program does the meme woman yelling at cat coming from? 5. What is the name of Sean Bean's Lord of the Rings characters featured in the One Does Not Simply meme? And 6. The most interesting man in the world was advertising which brand of alcoholic beverage? Okay, so we're coming on to the final round of the quiz. Guys, I'm really sorry if you didn't get a chance to actually play the quiz via the answer sheet, but if you've just been watching along and kind of shouting out the answers into the void, then yes, that kind of does count as well. Make sure if you've been keeping a tab on what you've been saying and what answers you've got, you can tot them up at the end once I read out the answers at tonight's quiz at the very, very end. So here we go, round 8. It's a picture round that I'm doing tonight, and it's celebs in specs. Yes, this is a really woefully silly round. I'm going to show you 6 pictures of celebrities wearing glasses that normally don't really wear glasses, and quite close up images of them. All you have to do is figure out who I'm talking about. So anyway, round 8, celebs in specs. It's a picture round. Let's have a look. So who is this? I will reveal who it is at the very end. Round 8, question number 1. Who is this very well known person? Round 8, question 1. If you've got a fascination with people's eyes, then maybe you will be able to get it. Round 8, question 2. Who could this be? Again, an actor not really known for wearing glasses, or particularly on screen, but here they are, wearing a pair of round specs. Round 8, question 2. Who could this be? Bought a football club recently, that's a clue I'll give. A bit random actually, but that's happened. Round 8, question 3. Who is this? These are quite tricky, I think. Some of they get trickier. Round 8, question 3. Who could this be? I'll give you a clue. Probably a very, very famous spectacle wearer. Round 8, question 3. Next one, round 8, question 4. Who is this? Round 8, question 4. Who could that be? Round 8, question 5. Now this is gonna be, if you're not playing with the answer sheet, this is actually gonna be really, really tough, considering like. But round 8, question 5. Who could that be? Penultimate question. Here comes your final one for this evening. Good luck. Let's see how you do. Round 8, question 6. Very famous political figure. Round 8, question 6. Go through those one more time. Question number 1. Round 8, question 2. Question 3. Question 4. Question 5. And finally, question 6. Okay, guys, now once you've submitted your answer sheets, that is the end of the quiz, and you'll get your scores at the end if you've been playing using the Google Doc form. If not, just like I said, tot them up once I read out the answers, which I'm going to do right now. So, hope you all enjoyed that one. But here's the answers for tonight's quiz. All right, so let's go back through it, and I will be revealing at the very end those pictures, so don't worry. I'm not caught anybody when I was doing that round. So anyway, here we go. Round 8 question. Oh, sorry. Round 1 answers. So yes, the term for Scottish New Year is Hogmanay. Neil Young is selling his catalogue for $150 million. Bob Dylan did it recently as well, earlier last month. Neil Young thought, I'll do it too. 55 is the Roman numerals for LV. Raphael Warnock is the man who's to be first African-American senator for Georgia. Julian Assange is the activist that was spared deportation this week. And That 70s Show is where Tanya Roberts appeared as Midge. Your questions regarding boy bands. Boyzone with a band that performed on the Late Late without actually singing. Louis Tomlinson is the oldest member of One Direction. I Want It That Way was Backstreet Boys' first UK number 1. 4, Bulletproof Boy Scouts. That's the name for BTS in Korean. I think that's actually a really kick-ass name. I thought it was behind the scenes. It's not. It's Bulletproof Boy Scouts. Bros was Matt and Luke. And finally, Brian McFadden was the guy who left Westlife and went on to a glittering solo career. No, wait, that replaced glittering with a shambolic solo career. That wasn't great. Sorry, Brian, if you're listening. Your questions regarding final directors. So, yes, Stanley Kubrick, Eyes Wide Shut. Sergio Leone, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Alan Parker, The Life and Times of David Gale. Alfred Hitchcock, Family Plot. Passage to India. It's David Lean's final movie. Did the likes of Dr. Zhivago, Bridge of the River Kwai, Oliver Twist, and Lawrence of Arabia. And Ryan's Daughter as well. Final one, George A. Romero. Survival of the Dead, the zombie movie. Okay, so those options for the history round. So yes, Germany reunifies took place in 1990. Operation Desert Storm kicked off in 1991. The O.J. Simpson trial was in 1995. Wannabe released by the Spice Girls in 1996. Tony Blair became Prime Minister in 1997. And the Good Friday Agreement is signed in 1998. So, those sports questions there. Carousel is the musical where You'll Never Walk Alone originated from, made by Rodgers and Hammerstein. Seventh Inning is where they sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. 3, The Chain is the song promoting Formula One racing. 4, Zadok the Priest by Handel. That's the the Champions League theme. That's what that is. If you listen to it, it's exactly the same melody. Bread of Heaven is the song O Guide Thou Great Redeemer. Bread of heaven, feed me till I have no more, feed me till I have no more. That's what that is. And Steam were the band who plays Na 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 Hey Hey Goodbye. Don't believe me? Look it up. This or that round, Cheers has more episodes than Frasier at a 275 to 264. Chris Hoy took Sir Steve Redgrave's long-standing 5 gold medal record, and he's currently at 6 to 5 gold medals. Microsoft was founded months earlier than Apple at 1975 to 1976. James Bond clearly has more films, 25 to 13. Pluto has 5 moons compared to Mercury's none. And Cambridge have a win of 84 to 80 against Oxford in the boat race. Your memes answers. So it was Richard Dawkins, the God Delusion guy. He's the guy who came up with meme as a term. Something that copies itself over and over again. And that's kind of the very nature of memes. I'm very glad as I'm finally returning back home. Now, that's otherwise known as Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. That is that song, and that's what it's called. It's called I'm Very Glad as I'm Finally Returning Back Home. It's got actual words to it. Goosebumps is, oh my god, that's the collection of books that she's holding up. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is Angry Woman Shouting at Cat. Boromir is Sean Bean's character in Lord of the Rings. And Dos Esquis is the beer that the interesting man in the world is promoting. Yes. Finally, your answers there is Lady Gaga, Ryan Reynolds, John Lennon, Jennifer Aniston, Idris Elba, and RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Just to show you these. I'm not messing about here. This will take me a wee while to get these because gotta zoom them down. There she is, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is there. That is definitely her. I made this one very, very big. I'll zoom her all the way out. There we go. That is definitely Lady Gaga. Second one, Ryan Reynolds. It was Ryan Reynolds indeed. Again, I've made these absolutely huge. Ryan Reynolds there, huh? Whoa. Make this. There he is. Just so you know. Just so I'm not, there's people calling foul. That was definitely Ryan Reynolds. Looking all sophisticated there with the glasses on. Van Wilder and... I love Van Wilder. That's a great movie. Next one, final one. This was the third one there. That's not Joe Biden. It is John Lennon. So yes, John Lennon, making him a bit smaller there. Let's see. There he is, John Lennon. Number 4. This was Jennifer Aniston. So Jennifer Aniston. Next time I do this, I'll just do another couple of slides with the actual ones on it. But there she is, Jennifer Aniston. Idris at number 5 there. Again, this is a massive image. I'm gonna have to get this all the way down. Let's see if I can get him. Right. You can tell it's Idris Elba. There we go. It's Idris. You know what? I'll take away the mainframe. There you go. Idris Elba. And finally, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the notorious RBG Supreme Court Justice who passed away last year. There we go. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Very famous woman in glasses. Let's make this. Oh, there we go. There she is. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ladies and gentlemen. Alright guys, thank you so much for playing the first Big Nerd Pub Quiz of the year. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Don't worry, if you are replaying this, I'm going to put the actual answer sheet link up in the description. So if you're playing it again, it will be there. It shouldn't be a problem. But otherwise, go back to the QR code and click that. Thank you so much again for playing this week. It's always good to have people in and about having the crack and enjoying the quizzes. Next quiz is going to be on... next week on Sunday the 17th of January 2021 at 8 p.m. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always, coming up there to 9 o'clock on the 10th. I'll see you again all soon next week. And all it remains for me to say is goodbye, good night, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Good night, guys.